So Phil, and he's a physicist, so he's telling me, I did these numbers to come up with the velocity of climate change. And we had been talking about it in this group of scientists, like how fast is it happening? And is it happening at different rates in different kinds of climates, different kinds of elevations and so forth? He said, so just for the fun of it, because that's what you do if you're a physicist, for the fun of it, you run like immense numbers to see what comes up. So he had run these numbers for the fun of it. And then he's telling me this story, and he says, and then I run into Scott Laurie, who I know from talking about these things, and I say, look what I did on my laptop. And Scott Laurie says, well, I did the same thing for the fun of it. Because he's also
one of those guys.
One of those guys. And they came up with the same numbers. And what was very apropos to the spine of the continent is that they showed that species in mountainous areas, there's all different kinds of climates and terrains in the mountains. And if you're a species on the south-facing slope of a mountain and you need to go somewhere cooler, you can just go maybe a few degrees onto a northerly slope, and you can get to a significantly cooler climate. So those species are going to survive a lot better probably than species that would have to try to move across a desert to get to a cooler temperature. So it's very important for this whole concept of where are the right places to protect nature, where is it most important. That's one of the reasons the spine of the continent is so important, is because in these Rocky Mountain ranges there are so many different kinds of habitats. So it's very important to save. They're going to be refugia as climate encroaches. So one of the main, two things, one main takeaway from the spine of the continent is sort of, think local and global, act local, act global. We all have to be local and global at the same time. The environmental movement, it's been suggested by a lot of people that a good direction for it is something called bioregionalism, in which people understand and relate to their physical environment of where they actually live, kind of like Native Americans did. Really understanding what are the patterns of your place? What are the other creatures that live here with you? And the idea is that if you know something of the patterns of where you live and who else lives here with you, you'll take care of it better. But especially now, we need everybody to be involved with science, and there to be kind of a discussion going back and forth between people who have their PhDs and who have careers in science and other regular people who could have observations about patterns that they see that could be very, very interesting and useful to the scientists. And then the scientists can also tell people about their environment. At the same time, we have this need to really steward the land, really take care of our own backyards, and really taking care of where you live, that I really feel can make the biggest impact on, going forward in the right way.
Well, thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you.